You've probably noticed the sharp spike in gas prices without much relief projected anytime soon. State leaders have declared an abnormal market disruption, triggering new protections against price gouging. Thanks for staying with us here at 5:30. I'm Sarah Sanchez. I had to make sure it was 5:30. It is, in fact, 5:30.
It is indeed, yes. And I'm Tim Lammers. Here's the thing. Industry leaders say something else, though, is really driving those price increases. Fox 61's Priscilla Meza explains.
That move is meant to protect consumers right now. For many drivers, the big question isn't just why prices are going up, but when they can expect them to go back down.
The much worse news than that is not how long they're going to last. Because that is a part of this, but they're going to go up much more in the short term.
Under state law, this declaration kicks in when wholesale gas prices spike rapidly, something officials say we're seeing now in cities like Hartford and New Haven. That allows the state to investigate and penalize anyone charging excessive prices at the pump. But the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association says those increases are being driven by global forces, not local stations.
I think it can create confusion because there's the connotation that people are being ripped off. They're being gouged at the pump, and that's just not the case.
Chris Herb points to instability overseas, saying fears over oil supply disruptions are sending prices higher before any actual shortages hit.
The bombing of Iran and the result of the Strait of Hormuz being locked in, 20% of the world's oil not moving right now, is having global repercussions. There is no supply problem. Everybody on the street today, when they pull up, can get gasoline. We all know from our high school economics class that usually when supply is tight, prices rise. Well, that's not what's happening. What's happening is Wall Street is afraid that that might happen sometime in the future, and they're pushing up the price that we pay.
He says those shifts are happening on global trading markets, impacting how much stations here pay for fuel before it ever reaches your tank. And with hundreds of stations competing across the state, he says pricing pressure works both ways.
There are 1,200 hyper-competitive gas stations in Connecticut competing with each other every day, displaying their price on the street. So if you don't like their price, you don't have to drive very far to buy from somebody else. That's what keeps gouging, I would say, in check.
A statement that drivers like Talia Longo are proving to be true.
Yeah, it does matter. Usually I go to this gas station or one of these two, but typically this one has the best price. I definitely noticed by the highway, so that one over by the highway is definitely always a little bit more.
And experts say the biggest factor now, whether prices go up or down, will depend on what happens next overseas. In Berlin, Priscilla Meza, Fox 61.